Okay, I wanted to show you 3 different methods that your students have learned and used to solve 3-digit addition problems, both with and without regrouping. Regrouping is what most of us know as carrying our ones over. So our first method is standard model. This is the one that most of us will use. Some of the children will use this method, but a lot of them will forget to bring whatever they are regrouping down, and it causes them to get their answer wrong. And you'll notice if your child is having a hard time doing that, and so they might rely on the other 2 methods more when doing their homework, because getting the right answer and taking extra time to work it out to get that right answer is always better than trying to do it in a way that you don't know how and getting the wrong answer. So first we're going to add 7 plus 8, which is 15. We carry the 1. We add 3 plus 6 first. That gives us 9. We add 1 more. That gives us 10. So we put our 0 down on the bottom. We bring our 1 over here. 3 plus 2 is 5. Plus 1 is 6. A lot of times they'll just forget. They'll write the ones, but they'll forget to bring them down. So they would end up having something like this. So this would be wrong because it's not 605. And I would then end up having to go through and say, you forgot to bring down your ones. Our next method is called partial sums. This is kind of like doing standard model, but instead you're breaking it up into place value. So place values for 337 would be, you have a 3 in the hundreds place, so it's worth 300, plus 30 for the 3 in the tens place, plus 7 for what's in the ones place. Then you would do the same thing for 267, or 268. And you draw your line. Now you add them together, but you aren't regrouping them or carrying them over yet. You do that last. So you're writing them out exactly as it is. Then they would have to think about it and say, okay, I have a 1 in my tens place. That needs to be brought over here, which means my new method, I might run out of room a little bit, would be 100 plus 5 plus 500, in which case they would say 500 plus 100 is 600. Ooh, ran out of room. 500 plus 100 is 600, plus 5, that would give them 605. Our last method is base tens, which is basically the same thing of separating it into those place values. Some of them might need help in separating their papers into HT and O, which is just hundreds, tens, and ones. You would draw out the blocks. So I would draw 3 large squares for 300. A lot of them you might see will add a plus and draw a line to help mark that these are 2 separate numbers. Then you will draw out your tens, which are represented by long lines like this. So I have 2 hundreds, 6 tens, and 8 ones for 268. Then 337, 3 hundreds, 3 tens, and 7 ones. Then they can go through, add them all together. This is when I would have them go through and draw a circle around all of the ones once they have 10. So you would go through, you'd count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the top. And I know 7 plus 3 is 10, so I'm going to go through and count. And I'm going to make sure I have only circled 10. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That tells me that once I've counted, these will go over into my 10 section. So I have 1, 2, 3 tens, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 90. I add my 10 from over here, and I end up with 100. I write down what's left over, my ones that aren't circled. So these ones right there is what goes right here. Then I would add my 300s plus my 200s, and it would give me 500. I'd add my 500 plus my 100, gives me 600. I would add my 5, gives me 605. They can always use the back of their paper, or if you need notebook paper, they can come in and get that and take it home and use as much as they need. I would much rather them take the time to do the work than try to fit it in the little box and do it in a method they don't know how.